Welcome in to another prediction video. Today we're looking at the Green Bay Packers. We have already covered the entirety of the AFC and we've covered the Lions so far on the NFC. So if you're interested in any of those, you can check them out on my channel. But today it's the Packers. So we're going to kick this thing off. We'll get right into it on this one. Week 1, home against the Lions. I don't love getting this game week 1 if I'm a Packer fan. Not necessarily because of the opponent, but against the dome team. I wish I got this game later in the year, when the weather might be worse. But, it's only going to affect the game so much. But like I stated in my other video, I think the Lions and the way they seem to get fired up with Campbell, just the way they lost in the playoffs. Losing in the playoffs always sucks, but it's the way it happened to them. I think they'll be fired up in week 1, and I think it will be to the detriment of the Packers, and I think they drop game 1 of the season home against the Lions. So a tough start to the year, but not to worry. They are home again in week 2. You cannot go 0-2 in your first 2 games if they are both at home. So a very crucial Thursday night football game against a very good Commanders team that really came out of nowhere last year, but Jayden Daniels looks like the real deal. This is a phenomenal kickoff to the Amazon Prime Thursday night slate, and I think every year they tend to do this, if I remember correctly, since Amazon Prime has taken over. That week 2, the first game that is on Prime, seems to be a very, very good one, and this is no exception. This is a great game, one of the best Thursday night games of the entire season. So super excited about this one, and I've gone back and forth on this, and I have ultimately come with the Packers taking the win here. I think they're in a tougher spot. You can't go 0-2 to start the season in this scenario. 1-1 on the first 2 home games. And they could easily win that Detroit one at home, of course. But I don't have them winning it in this scenario. So 1-1, hit the road to Cleveland. Browns should be pretty bad this year. They're going to beat somebody at some point. They're going to win a couple games, but I don't think this is one of them. I think the Packers take care of business on the road, move to 2-1, and then they visit Dallas, a game I had them losing for a little bit, but the more I think about it, I do like the Packers in this spot before heading into their very, very early bye week, giving the Packers to start 3-1 on the season. Then week 6, home against Cincinnati, a Bengals team that underperformed a little bit last year, as looking to bounce back, but I don't think this is the spot. I think the Packers come out of their bye week with a win and move to 4-1 on the season. Then they have 2 tough road games against teams with maybe a couple question marks, but it should be 2 solid teams nonetheless. At Arizona in week 7, this is a great one. I've gone back and forth on this one, but ultimately I do have the Packers winning this one and moving to 5-1. And then week 8, Sunday night football, you have Jordan Love and the Packers meeting Aaron Rodgers for the first time since his departure from Green Bay a few seasons ago. This one's in Pittsburgh. Assuming Rodgers and the Steelers are healthy, I think the Steelers take this one at home on Sunday night and hand the Packers their second loss of the season. But that should be a fun one. That'll be just interesting to see Rodgers against his former team. Almost odd that we haven't seen it yet, but that should be a very good game. Very excited about that one to kind of see that dynamic. But then week 9, they are home against the Panthers. Panthers should be much improved this season, but I don't think they're going to win this one. So give me the Packers to bounce back and go 6-2. And then week 10, they're home against the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last season. This is a nice early November Monday night football game. Should be a phenomenal one. Could go either way. But ultimately, I do have the Eagles taking this one. The Packers do not get their playoff revenge. But the Packers could definitely win this game. Would not be surprised whatsoever. But I do have Philadelphia coming out with the win in this one. Then Green Bay travels to New York. A game that originally I thought could maybe be a trap game, but I think that's only the case if they do beat the Eagles, because coming off a loss against a bad team, that's a picture perfect spot for a bounce back game. And I think they get it done on the road in New York and move to 7-3 on the year before they are home against the Vikings in Week 12. This is the week before Thanksgiving. I think the Packers can get it done against J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings, who should still be a very, very good team. And I think this should be a very close game, but I will take the Packers. Week 13, Thanksgiving. The Lions already got them earlier this year. And the Packers have played well in Detroit the last couple seasons. And believe it or not, in Detroit on Thanksgiving, on that early kickoff game, I will take the Packers to win that one and move to 9-3 on the season. Week 14, then they're home against the Bears, who won in Green Bay the last week of the season. Nothing really on the line there, but they did win. But I don't think it'll be the same result this time. Give me the Packers to move to 10-3 on the season, so looking very good at this point. 10-3 probably has you in the running, honestly, for that 1 seed. But look out, this is a tough end of schedule here. This is brutal. Week 15 at Denver. Denver is going to be much improved. Denver is going to be a pretty good team this year. This is one of those 4:25 Eastern games. It's going to have Tony Romo, Jim Nantz on the call. Should be a good one. And I do have Denver escaping with a narrow victory here. Green Bay falls to 10-4. Then on the road in Chicago, the Bears should be improved this season. And man, I do take Chicago here. I have Chicago winning this game, pushing the Packers down to 10-5. And then they're home against the Ravens who will probably be fighting for a division title or a 1 seed. And the Ravens play exceptionally well against NFC opponents. And this is one of those that can be flexed to Saturday, so it could be a night game, could have weather, should be very cold, but that might even favor Baltimore in the style of game that they play. I think the Ravens sneak out with a win here, dropping the Packers to 10-6, 3 losses in a row. Week 18 at Minnesota. Do not overlook the Vikings this season. I've said it in other videos. They're going to be solid. They would 14, God, I keep forgetting if it was 13 or 14. I think it might have been 14 wins last season. And they really didn't downgrade that much. They had a much easier schedule last year. Don't get me wrong on that. But I'm not a Darnold believer, honestly. But give me the Vikings to win this one. Packers fall to 10-7, but this could be good enough to win the division. I also have the Lions going 10-7. If you check out my other video, the Lions' road schedule is insane. It's a nightmare. But 10-7 could be good enough to win the North. I think they might beat up on each other a little bit. I think all of the teams in this division are very good. And they all have the capability to beat each other. Every single divisional game in this division is a must-watch. And I think 10-7 could get the job done on the division. Just because of how hard not only their schedules are with the division, they're going to beat each other up, but also they had some tough draws. Everyone is playing Philadelphia this year. Everyone's playing Washington this year. I mean, those are tough ones. They're all playing, who else? Baltimore. They all have Baltimore this season. They all have Pittsburgh. They all have Cincinnati. So it's definitely a tough schedule for this NFC North. It's toughest for the Lions, but Packers don't have it easy either. But 10-7, ceiling, floor. I think I'll make some videos later on talking about what I think ceilings and floors are for some of these teams, because I think that's an interesting way to look at it. As opposed to just going game by game. But honestly, I think their ceiling could theoretically be 12 wins. But with this tough of a schedule, I think that floor could be as low as 8. So we'll see. 10-7 is the record I have them, which I would be very, very surprised if that was not good enough to make the playoffs. So expect the Packers to be back in the playoffs once again, and they're looking to make the Super Bowl for the first time in about 15 years. So let me know what y'all think, and we got the Bears and the Vikings coming up next to close out the NFC North.